All right, guys. Welcome to the third episode of Get Some Morals, Hoes. Get Some Morals. Um, sorry, I got an email. Um, oh God. Just y'all pray for me, Jesus. My poor dog. Let's just start off there. I forgot. I am Olivia Pope in the streets, Adina Howard in the sheets, Trey, the villain for the kids. I'm the villain for the kids, y'all. Let's just start with my dogs, Lord. Smokey Harris, just he can't relax, y'all. He can't relax. Can somebody help me? So we got to do some I got to do some dog training with him because he just gets out of control when we walking. And I was reading up on it last night, and the article I read was saying that a lot of his issues is that he has so much energy because we do so much exercise. So I don't stimulate his mind enough. So we are going to learn how to relax. And dad is going to learn how to relax too. He's still trying to do stuff, and the Lord keep telling him to sit his butt down, and he's not listening. So I'm going to learn how to relax. He's going to learn how to relax, and I'm going to take Bandit to training as well because can't take one without the other, and I can't leave my baby out. So this summer, that is what we're going to do. We're going to we're going to relax. This has been a shitty. You know what? It hasn't been a shitty year. It's just been a hard year of growth for me. Absolutely hard. But it was much needed, and whew, it's been hard, y'all. And I'm thankful for it because I pray for growth, and God gave it to me. Uh, he didn't tell me. I didn't give him no settings, and I'm sure he wouldn't have paid attention anyway. So he did what he wanted to. So I'm thankful for the growth. But it's been a hard year. I was kind of writing some stuff last night about some of the things that I went through, and then I'm gonna try to move the conversation to a lot of topics before I end it. Um, but I'm on a fuck everyone tour, and it's wonderful. People are still revealing their true nature to me. If I talk to you about something, I need that conversation to stay between us because I trust you enough to have a conversation with you. And I do things to see if I can trust you because you got to think about being a person that comes from abused background. And I've been abused for 32 years and I'm only 32. So I had to know who to trust. And what I knew going into it, that as only you only can trust yourself. As I've learned this over this last um, couple of months of dealing with the bullshit with this former school district. I only can trust myself. I don't think that um, I that I'm just at that point where I want to waste. I can't waste any more of my energy, my presence, my light on people that don't matter. I spent 32 years of giving my light and my power and my presence away to people that don't matter. Now they were needed for the growth, but it's a saying that I saw the other day, and it's like on Facebook, and it's on my Instagram. So please follow my Instagram, EODISHARRIS 3, uh, and then my name on there is Trey D Villain. Uh, and it goes along with the podcast. Hopefully, you'll see a lot more in there because I'm paying for promotional things through Instagram because I didn't know that they did that, but I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Uh, but it says that you keep meeting the same person in different bodies until you learn the lesson you're supposed to learn. And the Lord is, whew, whew, Jesus, and He ain't lying. He ain't lying. The only person you can trust is Him, and He'll send me the people that the right people at the right times for me to do what I need to do. But if the reason that's the reason why I tell people stuff, and it always comes back because I'm testing you to see if I can trust you. So yet again, somebody else fell into it, which I had already been new going into it. I had already knew after the fact because the other person changed up, and It wasn't to be malicious, and I really ain't gonna explain more than that. It wasn't to be malicious. I have to know who I can trust because again, I've been abused my whole life and I truly don't know who to trust. Sorry. So I'm on a fuck everybody tour. I'm gonna be as cordial as possible. I'm not going to any events. I'm not going to any parties. I don't care about birthdays. I don't care if you turn 77. I don't care if you turn 104. If I didn't have to, and I'm not trying to be mean, if I just ooh, take care of my granddad, that's my last piece. And if a job offer comes for out of state or something like that, I'm out. And he'll have to go with his son. His son can do it. Not stopping my growth. I'm not stopping my purpose. I'm not sitting in one spot for you to not do the right by me. I'm just not doing it. It's too easy. It's too easy to do right by people. It's too easy to do right by people, especially me because I don't ask for shit. I don't ask for shit from anyone. I've fallen on my own needing payment for hearing this, and I won't even reach out for that. What I lose, what I lose. I don't care. I'm not doing it anymore. I've never been so disgusted in humans in my life, and I come from being molested and raped for years. I think I've never been more disgusted in human beings in my life as I am right now. I have cut off every person that I know because as they watch me be burnt on Facebook, watch me be burnt on Facebook. Nobody said, hey, Trey isn't that kind of person. Trey is a good person. Trey don't have a reason to lie. Nobody ever stood up and said anything. And I just would not continue to waste my time. I am done with education as of right now until at least August, until my TRS comes. And I will try, if nothing has popped out by then, I will try to get back into education and do something along with teaching. But at this point, man, I, ugh, I've never in my life been more disgusted with human beings as I am right now. Never been more disgusted. And it's sad. It's so sad. It's unneeded. It, it's 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 human nature. And what I've learned is that I put too much trust in people that don't deserve it, and I'm not doing it anymore. And I hope it hurts every feeling that you have because I can't trust you. So I've well, and I can't even say I cut off all my friends. They showed they cards. Now, one friend that I didn't think that would cut me off that hurt was they know who they are, so that kind of hurt. But hey, you got to do what you got to do, boo. And I'm gonna have to shake it off. It's good. I don't think that they meant it in any bad intent. Um, it was no issues between us. I think this situation was just too much for that person. So I don't have any hard feelings, and we could easily be friends again in the future. We don't. But I have nothing but love for that person. But other than that, I'm just not. I'm on a fuck you tour. Don't call me, ask me for anything. I want to get my number changed, but I want you to. But I would rather you call and text and I not answer, and for you to understand. And it's not silent treatment. It's just protecting my peace treatment. People want you to react in a certain box when you've been disrespected. People want you to be the exact same. You're supposed to be um what is it called? You're supposed to be this perfect person when you've been disrespected for years. You're supposed to do this, you're supposed to be rational. I am rational. I do everything in person, purpose. Me going off in that video below with that district, I knew everything I was doing before I did it. I play chess, not checkers. I went to the district employee several times. I went to my union rep several times to talk about these concerns with the bullshit that goes on in in the schools that I was dealing with. And it's probably, and I'm pretty sure it's happening across the state because as we saw this week, I mean, this month, they made a ruling that we can't talk about um, anything that has to do with equality for all colors, things like that, Black Lives Movement, things like that. We can't talk about that in schools because you want to continue this stupid ass rhetoric that your ancestors started. That was the stupidest shit I've ever heard of in my life. By treating someone different because they are different skin tone than you. Half of y'all drive black cars and don't like black people. The dumbest shit I've never in my life. But again, as I've said before, your salvation is not my issue. My salvation is the only thing I care about. So that's something you're going to have to sit in front of your maker and deal with. But it sucks that we're still in 2021. Martin Luther King died countless years ago. March for everybody to be together, and we still don't have any type of equality for everybody because of society norms, because you're too brainwashed to think for yourself. That's sick. But hey, that's your business, not mine. It sucks, it's sick, it's sad, but we're here. We're here at a place where we won't teach kids to treat everybody equally because of the color of their skin. We won't teach kids to be accepting and love um the trans kid that's sitting next to you, the bi kid that's sitting next to you, the non-binary kid that sits across from you. We can teach them math, we can teach them reading, we can teach them comprehension, we can teach them to love numbers, we can teach them how to um, melodies, we can teach them brush strokes, we can teach them to love themselves, but we stop at equality. It's a problem with that. But I will no longer be in that part of education. I can't. So I have to find something to do outside of education, and that's what I'm going to do. As I said earlier, I went through a lot of stuff this year. Um, in May, my egg and my carriers, or whatever you want to call them at this point, decided they was going to acknowledge my sexual abuse that they had already knew that happened. They were well aware of, because one of them gave me up when it happened and blamed it on me. And and then they didn't follow my well-being and make sure that I'm mentally okay. They follow child support checks. Child support, man. Child support. Um, in June, I continue to the notice the declining health of my grandfather, that who I've been taking care of for the last 10 years by myself. All good. God is good. July, I got my puppies. Then, as I got my puppies, start noticing the mold that was going in my apartments. As that was going on, I had Smokey for 3 days. He got parvo, so I spent $5,000 to treat him and Bandit to make sure that they were okay. So I had to, and that was an ordeal because he was doing better, and then all of a sudden he got so much acid in his stomach, and the baby started throwing up acid. It was a almost 2 weeks of pure hell. And then at the end of the month, I moved on my own accord with my own money to a different apartment because I didn't like the mold that was going in my current apartment. Because the apartments didn't give a fuck. So that was July, August. In September, I started my podcast with people that I thought, and what I've learned, everybody ain't meant for your journey. And I'm not gonna talk about them at all because like I told you last time I talked about them in the last episode. I'm not gonna even give them the benefit of being on this one. But I've never been. So I started the podcast, which I loved. First episode was kind of, but as the podcast went on, it got a lot better. I got more comfortable on camera. I got more comfortable talking and my viewpoints, and I was listening. And as I listened to other people's viewpoints, it made my logic more sound and things like that. So it was a wonderful experience. I would be sitting here in front of you today if it wasn't for the podcast. So it all happened in reason. So glad they're gone, but thankful for the memories that was created. It helped me start this podcast towards working on my mental health, and I hope that one day somebody listens and they start their journey on being mentally sound and loving themselves. Um, November, oh, in October, I blew the lid with my carrier, and my sister thought I was gonna come pick her up, the smart one, and which I'm not gonna go too much into her neither, because she's not getting a spotlight on my show. But somebody that thinks they know everything and are younger than you and don't have shit, don't have a degree, don't have a fucking thing, but they mouth and they attitude can tell you everything about life, should be able to figure out how to get out that house. And they didn't get out until February. Uh, November, as I was in my new position, that's when the bullshit started. As I fought for equality for this lady at as I fought for this lady in the district at a school about her lunch duty, and that's when the problem started with the district. Which the district, I've been dealing with discriminatory things for had 3 years at that point. Like, so this wasn't nothing new for me. This was something that had been going on. I stayed for the kids for the first 3 years, and I was like, hey, let's look into this other side and see if it's truly, if it's just on this side, and then I need to move up and get my own campus and just make sure that my campus is okay, or if it's is riding on the outside as it is on the inside. I mean, it's riding on the inside as it is on the outside, and it was. And fought for her to get a lunch duty in her planning period, something that she's supposed to get, and fought with her for that, and then went on to fight against them throwing a gen ed student in with a special education student. I don't think ever I've ever at this point been I just don't understand. I've never seen so much malice and hate for people in general in my life. So I got big lips, so I'm always mouth always wet. Mouth always wet, so big lips. Um, I I just didn't understand. Like, I'm fighting against something that is wrong, and I'm getting so much pushback. I would never understand that. But when you're used to doing stuff the way that you do it, it happens. You know? And I'm always gonna stand up for what's right. Because what's the saying? Stand up for nothing, you stand up for nothing, you fall for anything. And I'm not that kind of person. I was raised better. Betty Harris did a number on me. Jesus Christ did a number in my heart to make sure, regardless of the bullshit that I was dealing with, to stay a good person, because that's all that matters at the end of the day. Um, and I started therapy in November, which was awesome, even though the therapist wasn't the best, but it's all good. Uh, December, I had that breakthrough on that episode of Break Room. with CC and them. CC really blessed me. Um, she really blessed me with that piece, and it was the piece I was missing. And it started this. That piece healed. That piece had me forget. I mean, move past the shit that happened in my childhood, and then it helped me on the self healing thing. So the self healing thing started in January, and it's and it's still going on because self healing is an everyday thing. So don't think because you're 1 year into it, 5 months into it, 12 years into it. Self care and self love is an everyday thing that um, you have to keep because they will break you down, and you cannot be broken down. You're too strong for that. You can make it. You can make it. And I know some of us had a rough life than I had, but you can make it. If you can make it, just stay faithful, love yourself enough to continue to fight because you deserve happiness, and I'm there. I'm over the bullshit I'm dealt with, but I can 100% tell you that I'm a whole 100% person in in me, and I love me. As I've said several times, I can die today, and I know where I'm going, and I know who I'm going to talk to, and I know who I'm going to see. Like I can have it. This shit is the foolishness down here. Um, I canceled my birthday trip in January because people invited themselves on my trip first. Then they started inviting other people, so I canceled my trip. I always got sick, but I canceled my trip on top of it. And it was so wonderful. I had a wonderful birthday weekend, even though I don't talk to those people anymore. That birthday experience was wonderful. Um, I just had a good time. Um, my mother came back into my life at this point, but as soonly after in February, once that storm hit, and I sat in that old apartment for 36 hours where I had no lights and no heat, and I was told to leave my puppies at home, and you can come over here, but you can leave your puppies at home. No, because they've been the most consistent thing in my life. No, not doing that. And I let you pass with that one because I already knew the type of shit you wasn't shit. I had already knew you wasn't shit. That was already so. That's the kind of person you were. So that's why it didn't bother me in February. Um, then the apartment flooded. Apartment complex didn't care. It took. I had to send. Let's see how many. I took. It took them 6 days and an email for me for them to come out and check on my apartment. Yeah, that's what it took. And then they half-assed did that because guess what? In March, I had mold growing all over my apartment. But again, continue my journey, continue to stay, continue to fight. Had to cuss them out on a couple emails. Had to read their asses on a couple emails. And this is not with the work shit. I'm just telling you what was going on personally. Oh, in February we was told as the storm was through, hey, y'all y'all work regardless if you got lights or not. You need to work or you need to use your personal time. I reached out to the same person I reached out to when I told you about the bullshit that I've been dealing with the district, the racist, the discriminatory thing. I reached out to the same person and she didn't do any. She didn't cover it then. Uh, and then I told a friend to get. I told one of the people from the podcast to get lost in February. I put down boundaries, and you tell me you ain't got to adhere to them, and then was the victim. I don't give a fuck about you, your mama, your sister, and anybody else connected to you. You need that person needs therapy, serious therapy, because there's something wrong with her. But that ain't my business. Mock my mental health journey and everything. So let me say, not your mama and your sister because they truly don't know the type of um, individual you are, but you're really sick in the head. You really need help. Because your mom been telling you something wrong with you. And she was right. Because you might have mental health as well. But I ain't gonna talk about nothing else of your business. I'm just tell you need some mental help. Because truly, I don't care. So if you end up watching it, or one of your friends end up watching, I want them to know I truly don't care. I'm not gonna talk about any other of your business that you need, but you do need some help. That will help you. Some intensive help, maybe maybe a couple of months stays in an inpatient clinic will probably help you. But you got the wrong person. I don't fight, I don't cuss, I just don't care no more. That's what happens when you're 100% healed. You need some help, baby. And I hope that one day that you get it. I really do. Baby, I refuse. I will have zero friends to have 100 of them that I can't trust. I'm sorry. That won't adhere to some boundaries that we put in place. Boundaries, when you put down boundaries, that's to keep relationships. Boundaries aren't to push you away. It's to say, hey, I'm growing into a different person. I'm a different person. For us to stay friends, I need you to adhere to these boundaries. And you decided that that wasn't something that you were going to do. And that's okay. You got cussed the fuck out. But we've been there. April, this bullshit started this fight. That today, we're gonna talk about it in just a second. Today, I finally ended. Like, I'm not gonna keep on going back and forth with y'all about what's right and what's wrong. You know that the shit that you do is wrong. You know that the stuff that you do is wrong. You know it. You know that the shit that you do is wrong. You knew that the shit that happened in that district was wrong. You knew that the concerns that I brought up was wrong. You knew all of this was wrong. If I went to several different people within the district and they didn't care, I had to get on camera and act like I act stereotypical because anytime, hostile, I'm sorry. I had to act hostile and put it on Facebook to expose you. And then you tell me you still don't know what my concern is, baby. You know what the concerns is. You just don't want to address them. And that's okay. And I know that you have put some things in the district. Remember, I have people everywhere in the district, on top of the district, in the admin building, people in the buildings that let me know the changes that y'all have been making to strive to do better by the kids in the building. So they were real concerns, they were real issues, they were real things that happened. It's crazy that you got to act like a fucking idiot for them to treat kids correctly. The racists are gonna hang themselves. You don't have to ride, you don't have to loop, expose, baby. Just expose them. Expose them. That's all you got to do. Expose these people for who they are. Don't ride, don't loot, just expose them. Find a way to expose them and keep it pushing. You did your part. You gotta do nothing else. Because the only thing they're gonna do is shoot you in the back if you ride. Because you see how they did the Cal 17, 16-year-old shot them people in the back, and he's sitting out here skipping down Mary Lou Lane. Because our black skin don't matter in America. So expose them and live the best life you can. They don't want better in the world. They don't. You could tell they don't want better as just how general people treat each other. They don't want better. So you have to let people be people and keep it pushing and don't waste your breath and keep living and keep doing you and be happy, guys. But let me just tell you about this district stuff, and then I'm gonna end it off with some good stuff. Um, let me just say this: Jamie Lee Curtis put some on Twitter today, and it didn't rub me the wrong way. I just hate when people make comments about things that don't need to be said. Like, you could have kept that in your mind. She was saying something about podcasting, and we supposed to just hear your voice, not see your face. What happened to that? Don't watch it. Like, listen to the thing and keep it pushing. I don't understand why people make comments about things that they don't understand. Some people don't want to listen. One of my aunts rather watch it on YouTube. I'm not about to learn how to green screen and put the screen up. I love me. So you're gonna see me. And if you don't like to see that, listen to the voice. And if you don't like to do that, just don't listen. Like, I don't understand. Like, why you thought that was a good idea. I don't understand. Like, keep comments to yourself. Like, every comment doesn't need to be said. And that's another thing around with people. Everything don't need to be said. Shut up. Everybody don't want to see a fucking Halloween movie we done seen 900 times. And we don't want to see that. That's why I don't watch the shit. How many times have we got to see Michael Myers chase you around the building? The shit is old. But we don't say shit about that. So let people do them. Asshole. Oof. So talking about this district thing, and then I'm gonna end it on another note. So Lil Birdie in the admin building told me they were finally investigating my concerns. So last week I sent an email to them and asked them, what's going on? Because on April 26th, I had the conversation with Mike. On the 28th, I was called because I had to continue to put stuff on Facebook before they decided to investigate. You should have investigated it on Monday when I brought up the concerns. I was still a district employee over the weekend. Was I not? So as soon as I put the concerns out on Friday, since you watched my Facebook and everybody decided to attack my mental health, you should have had already started the investigation, but you didn't. So Lil Birdie in the admin building told me since I made that, what's the name, that they finally was going to start investigating my claim. So last week, when I emailed them asking for an update, I was told that you told us that you don't want us. The final part. I'm gonna read the email to you. The district has reviewed your information and has previously submitted related to your current claims. The additional step pending is to conduct one final conference with you to review the information. So I said, okay, I'll talk to y'all. Call me anytime. I'm free. Send a Zoom link. Let's do it. Nobody called. And if you call, you would call my old number. And let's call the old number and see what it says. Because I don't know, because I haven't called it. But let's see what it says when you call the old number.
The number you dialed is not a working number.
So that means that the number is off. So if you truly said, because in the email from yesterday, which we'll get to, but that's what happens when you call a number that's not that's invalid, correct? When you change the number, correct? So if you didn't get me then, you should have did what? Sent the email, right? All right. So me being me and me having people in high places, I put it on Facebook. Birdie told me that they were finally investigating the claims. I submitted this in a month ago, April 26th. Today is April 24th. And I'm having to come back to Facebook, delete my Facebook. I had to come back to Facebook to get some sort of response. At 4:47, I put that on like at 10 o'clock in the morning. Somebody either looked at it, sent it to the district was looking at it, whatever the case may be. 4:47 got an email saying, oh, we've been calling you for to set up the time, but we haven't got in touch with you. Did you send an email? Nah, because you weren't trying to. You weren't trying to investigate it. So I sent a new number. Sent the did a phone call yesterday, 5:06. They were already gone. Talked to her this morning, and I was told that, oh, we want to have a conversation because about your concerns because we just wanted some clarification on your concerns. No, you don't. In that video, as you listened to, Mike said he was taking notes. I told him this was my statement. I told him that he could have this as a statement. He didn't ask me how to send it to him, so I put it on YouTube to expose the bullshit that y'all do. At all times, you play chess, not checkers. Keep telling y'all, everything I do is in purpose. I put that on Facebook for a reason. I acted crazy in that video for a reason because me being proper, me being a stooge for racism. I'm supposed to be a stooge for racism. So sit like this, and I'm supposed to have my hand up high, and I'm supposed to tell you the bullshit that you've done to me, the district, and the staff. I'm supposed to be a stooge for racism. So got the phone with her, and she said, got the phone with her, and she was like, well, we need to have a conversation about that. And then they sent the meeting. Talked to someone. They fell right into the trap that I had already placed a month ago. Thank you for putting that on you, because that's on you. That's not on me. That's on you. So I sent the follow-up email saying this. Morning. I'm going to decline the meeting. I understand that you want clarification on my issues with the district. I said, I believe Mike took notes. I will include the video below. The video is my statement to just some of my issues, and I provided them with emails between me and the UEA rep. Because as a teacher, you're supposed to go to your union rep for help. You're supposed to go to your union rep for help, right? That's why we pay those monthly fees. I said my issue has always been discriminatory behaviors towards the students, staff, and myself. The mental health discrimination that I dealt with from the people closest to me that I worked with at the former campus were placed on Facebook. I didn't put the people's name on there. I didn't put I didn't put their name on there, but I put the messages that they sent me on there. Mm-hmm. Because racists and idiots and coons and things like that don't play chess. They play checkers. They play Uno attack. They play hangman. They do things like that. People that don't love themselves, that don't value your color. It had, it's just respect. I want to respect for not only me and the kids, but for you too. Only thing I do is stand up. They can't fire all of y'all. They can't fire teachers for every position. Hell, the people that's y'all in the position don't want the positions. So what's up? Sorry about that. I'm doing via Zoom until I find a different outlet to tape, but I wasn't just fighting for myself. Like, I can care less about the money. I was fighting for damn equal respect, equality for y'all, for everybody. The money was going back to the kids. But I said that, the mental health statuses was put on Facebook, And I talked about it in the Believo in the video. I said I gave countless true accounts of events that happened over the 4 years that I've been with the district. Even he said that I know some of the things that you're talking about. So we knew that those were true. And I said, I do want to thank the district and their employees for the lifelong lessons that you have taught me. I needed to grow into a fully healed individual as I move towards my purpose. I will meet with EEOC on July 6th to continue my concerns. If they say it's no case, then I will truly move on. Because I don't care. I know that I can't rely, we can't rely on the agency that's supposed to be over the districts because they don't believe in equality neither. I just want the black boy in the urban school to get the same thing as the white baby in the school with all the money. I'm gonna teach both of them the same. I'm gonna give both of them the same love. But I want the black kid to get the exact same thing. I want him to get the exact same opportunities, the exact same tools. That's it, y'all. That's it. The money thing was me having to deal with the bullshit, and y'all never did anything about it. Who wanted $25 million? Nobody. I didn't. 90% of it was going to back to the students to build some parks and stuff. Some Smokey going crazy, trying to get attention. But I was using $22 million to get back to the kids. Build in these urban areas. Build tutoring centers and enrichment centers, some boys and girls clubs. So it's never about the money for me. I was never giving anybody any money other than the kids and myself and the families in the district to open some things that saved me from being anything better than what I could have been because all the things that I went through. Boys and Girls Club. I didn't have a bad experience at the Boys and Girls Club. I know someone that said that they did. I don't know because you can't trust the person. So I don't know. It seemed very left field when it was told to us. So, and I'm not gonna doubt nobody's abuse. I really don't, because I really don't care about the person. So I'm not even gonna doubt it. So let me refrain. Let me say this: I don't care if it happened or not. That's not my place to say it didn't happen. But the money was going towards the kids. I was going to open some facilities. I was going to name it after my granny, and I was going to put it in the communities because truly nobody else cares about the kids, as we see. The district, no. So that was the reason for the money. It wasn't for me. I was taking only 10%. That's why I say you pay the taxes on it. Because all that money, it was going to those kids. Because you're not using the money correctly. So I'm done with it. I'm done with fighting them. I don't think right now at this point I'm going to be in education because I'm not needed. I will not allow you, I will not continue to build a pipeline bigger for kids of color. And not even just kids of color, all kids, because there's white kids that go to those schools too, these urban schools. And I have nothing against the kids that live in these more affluent areas. Because it's not that, it's not their fault that it's not the kids' fault that live in urban areas, and it's not the kids' fault. It's the school districts that are not doing what they need to do for the kids. That's the main issue. So we're not focused on the kids and pulling people out of poverty. That's the whole point of education, to pull someone out of poverty. But if I'm not giving this school on the south side the exact same things I'm giving to school in a more affluent area, they're always going to be like this. They're always going to be steps above. You're giving them less love, you're giving them less education, you're giving them less patience, you're giving them less materials that they need. And I don't want to go work in a more affluent district to get the things, the tools that I need to teach these kids. I want it in this school too. If money is tied to funding and funding is tied to students, that, and you already know it's proven that kids in low poverty areas don't get the same education. So why tie money to funding? To test scores. I'm sorry, achievement scores. If you already know that these kids on the South Side is not going to do as well as these kids over here, then why tie money to fund to that? Why not give every school all the money that they need? Because you got more than enough to do it. Put the things in the community that they need to be successful. You don't have to go to. I don't have to go to college to. I didn't have to go get a EDD for that. That's just common fucking sense. You tie money to funding to for achievement, test achievements, for all of that, to give these kids more money so they have more opportunities, and these kids are still sitting right here. That's the problem. I've said that as clear as day. Just like I'm telling y'all right now. Clear as day. But when you truly don't care about bettering people, when you truly don't care about kids, if you truly don't care about equality, that's out the window. And it's a I'm here to pay my bills type of thing. And that's okay. Pay your bills. But when I'm spending 70% or 60% or 50% of my extra money to make sure that these kids are getting the things that they need, it becomes too much. And that's what I was doing. You might not think the snacks and the extra tools and the extra pencils and the hugs and the love that I was giving those kids helped. But I got a kid that in third grade was supposed to be ED, is in GT, several kids, and it's probably gonna be the president of the United States. If y'all don't, they can. I got a kid that could be ED that was good with me in third grade, had issues all fourth grade, and in fifth grade was great yet again. That can be a scientist. I got a little girl that has always been great. Period. Because how girls are. Girls should just know what they're doing. But it's always been great. Didn't need me. I needed her. But that it's gonna be the first female president of the United States. It's gonna be a lawyer that's gonna change the world. So just think, if you if those kids got all of that these kids get in this affluent area, they get all that and the material that they need, and they get to learn about critical race theory and learn that, because that's what I was in there teaching, that no matter how someone treats you, you can't treat the whole race a bad way. No matter what bad thing is going on, you can't do that to these people, because these people don't deserve that. That's what I taught every day. You don't treat people, and when you make a ruling for people, you do it as a whole. Because just like y'all president that we put into office, the Democratic president did a COVID-19 bill that only affected, they did anti-hate towards Asians. Why can't you just do anti towards all races? Because how long has Black people been oppressed? 400 some years. How long have Latino people been oppressed? Could just do an anti-race, anti-race and sexual orientation deal that protected all of us. What do I know? Y'all be blessed. And as I say, get some morals, hoes. Bye.